This is Brenda Weatherly with The Simple Life, Homesteading the Pioneer Way. I am sorry about that. I was filming my biscuits, and instead of pausing, I cut it off. So we'll have to start over. To this bowl, I have already put 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I use all-purpose flour because the baking powder and baking soda in regular self-rising flour has aluminum in it, and it causes Alzheimer's and dementia and all kind of things. We don't want that. So I buy myself my soda and my baking powder and my baking soda at health food stores, which they're aluminum free. It costs a bit more, but in the long run, it's worth it. So, and I also put a little bit of flour in this bowl because I hand form my biscuits. As I was saying, I used to roll biscuits, but there's always waste. There's always some that you have to re-roll, and then those are tough, and nobody likes them, so why do it? Anyway, I'm going to put to the 2 cups of flour, I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And this is why I cut it off a while ago. I tried to pause it to level it. Let me see if I can do it again. I have leveled it. So that's 1 level teaspoon of baking powder. And then I'm going to use a half a teaspoon, just a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and I'll bring you back when I level that off. There's my half a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to put my lids back on so I'll know which is which. I buy this at health food store in plastic bags or sacks, whatever, and then I cut the label off and glue them to my lid so I'll know which is which. Okay, now I am going to mix this just a little bit. A little bit more. To that I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons or 1/4 of a cup each of butter and Crisco, and this is really cold, so, and I cube it up. So let me pause you to get that in. I have my butter and my Crisco in, and it's cubed up, and now I'm going to take the tines of my fork and just work it in this flour all around. And I may bring you back for that because this is a little labor intensive. And you can put a pinch of salt in this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I forgot my salt. It's over there on the counter by the stove. And I forgot it today, but I have forgotten it before and they work just fine. It's not that much salt, just a pinch. And you just want to incorporate your butter and your Crisco. You can use just Crisco, you could use just butter, you could use lard, you could use any fat that you wanted to do. But anyway, you just work that in good. And then the only thing left is your milk or your water. You could just put water. One time we was over at a friend's house and she had us for breakfast, and the biscuits were absolutely wonderful, and I said, "Those are great biscuits." I said, "How do you make your biscuits?" And she said, "Flour, lard, and water." I said, "You're kidding, that's all?" She said, "Yeah." And they were delicious. So, if you just have water, that's fine. If you have milk, that's fine. If you have buttermilk, that's fine. Let me bring you back when I get this incorporated. Almost got it incorporated. You don't want it doughy, so you want to make sure all the flour is incorporated. Let me bring you back. You don't want it too wet, but you don't want it too dry. So I think this is just about perfect. If I was going to roll them out, I might make it a little more moist. But because I'm hand forming them, I don't want them so moist. And all I do is take as much as I would think a biscuit would be, whatever size you want. And since they're hand formed, of course, they're not going to be all perfectly the right size, the same size. There is no right size. You want a big biscuit, you make a big biscuit. You want a small one, you make a small one. Anyway, I just turn it over in my flour. And if I had the other hand, I could just bring them back and forth a couple of times to knock that. All I'm doing is knocking that flour off. And then I'm going to form it into a biscuit. Again, if I had the other hand, I could just roll it into a nice biscuit real quick. But since I have one hand, I'm just going to do the best I can in making a nice biscuit. And then I'm going to, I have oil in my pan. I'm going to turn it over and put it down. This pan, this counter, the floor must not be exactly level, because when I put my pan down, the oil kind of, it's coated all over, but it kind of concentrates right there. So I will dip it in there and then put it in a pan somewhere else. So anyway, let me bring you back when I got a few more of these done. As you can see, I've got 3 done. That first one is a little small, but that's alright. I'll continue to fill the pan. Got my pan done. I've just got a couple more biscuits. So what we're going to do is going to pop these in the oven at 450 in 8 to 10, maybe 12 minutes. However brown you like them. I like mine really nice and brown. Some people like light brown biscuits, but I like them really nice and brown. And then when I bring them out of the oven, I will put some butter on top, and we will have them for breakfast. So, thanks for watching. This is Brenda Weatherly with The Simple Life, Homesteading the Pioneer Way, sharing my recipe for hand-formed biscuits. Until next time, keep homesteading.